is awesome.
Welcome to this week's edition of Everything Awesome. I'm Kev, and this is a show where we sit down and talk to awesome people about awesome things. This week's guest is a return guest from last week. I don't know if you sense a theme here, but we kind of have a lot of two-parters here because there's just so much awesome to talk about with all these awesome people. So last week we sat down and chatted with Michael D'Angelo, the creator of Worlds over at Tellust and Tellust.com. And at Tellust on Twitter. And we are joined with him again this week where we're going to sit down and talk about the social medias of yesteryear, the social media of today, video games, and a whole lot of fun stuff right here on this week's episode. Last week, if you missed it, was all Tellust. We learned about the world of Tellust. And so if you haven't listened to that week's episode, go back in time, get in your TARDIS, go listen to it, and then come on back here and listen to part 2 of our conversation with Mike D'Angelo right here, only on awesomepodcast.com. Take it away, past me.
What I want to do now at this point, because I've been just staring at this folder, and I just want to, because we've been talking about writing from back in the day, and this isn't King's Blood. This isn't the original King's Blood. What it is do you remember, like, I guess this was before MySpace, like Live Journal and Dead Journal?
I remember Dead Journal.
Oh my God. So Jen, I remember why I saved these, and these go, it looks like it starts in 2001, October. I remember why I saved all this shit. This was the time when we were wrestling. Like, we started wrestling, March 24th, I believe, of 2001. FTW started that. And so we started wrestling like probably 99, like with the UWF.
Maybe even earlier than that.
98, 99.
In a tennis court.
In your backyard.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we did some stuff in the tennis court, and then eventually the FTW, the TWF and UWF formed in the FTW. You can read, there's a Throwback Thursday on ThatEntertains.com about Falls Township Wrestling that you can get all the history on there. But I saved these because this was like back when like Mick Foley's first autobiography came out. And like, I was like, I'm going to be a famous wrestler one day. So I wanted to keep all my notes here. There's a lot of pages. I mean, we go from October 15th to, it looks like it's only about a month. It looks like it's about November sometime of 2001.
I'm very sorry to put you on the spot like this, but is there anything in there that leads to the whereabouts of that video that I've been asking you for?
No, not at all.
I figured it was worth a shot.
But so I'm not going to read all of these because I figure that now that I know my username, I'm going to go see if I can log in. Because there is a possibility that That's Entertainment, the podcast, will come back. But more realistically, maybe is on patreon.com/Tellust.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
So on the Tellust Patreon, you have a level, a milestone for the Tellust podcast.
And it's funny because for the first 45 minutes we've done this, I'm going to snag this. I'm going to have you edit it down so that I can show you, like, this is what it would be like on that patch.
No, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. And that'd be great. Like, I'm all for it. I love podcasting. I'm trying to limit myself to this show and maybe the one with my kid, and then one more with you. Like, you're the only other one I really want to podcast with at this point.
Vanilla Bear.
So I want to save some of these for potential future podcast episodes with us, because all this time was with you. Like, this, you are one of maybe 2 people in my life that were around in 2001. We're still in high school. This is like the birth of Tellust.
And this is Live Journal here, right?
This is Live Journal.
I was like the sloppy like seconds. Like, I never made it to Live Journal because Live Journal was like that exclusive club where the only way that you could get in was if someone invited you.
Really?
And I think you could only invite like one other people, and I think maybe you invited like Rachel or something.
I don't know. So
I was on Dead Journal. I
don't know. We're going to take a good break point because I'm going to say goodnight to my daughter. So we're going to take a quick break, or pause till next week. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to edit, but we'll be right back after these messages from none of our sponsors. All right, so we're back from the instant break that you just listened to.
Sponsored by Planned Parenthood, apparently.
Maybe what we were talking about was one of the reasons that That's Entertainment has been updated really that well, and that it I got thrown for a loop with the comic. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna write it this week. I had this. It's called Epstein-Barr virus, and it
shows up on House MD every now and then.
It wasn't lupus, but it was. I was sick like a couple days before your wedding, and I got I took a couple days off. I got better like the day of your wedding. I felt great, and then really the next day or maybe the Monday after your wedding, I started feeling crap again. And you're sick for weeks. At some point, you get extreme fatigue to the point where I was falling asleep at my desk at my client's office. I walked up 3 flights of stairs, and I know I'm out of shape, but I never ever go when I climb those stairs. I do it every week.
That backfired on you.
I inhaled like spit.
It went down the wrong pipe.
And so it really just messes with you. And the doctor said even after you start feeling better, when your throat gets better and you can start eating again, you're still gonna feel like crap for a couple weeks. I've gotten past the exhaustion. I can stay up till midnight again and start writing again. And then usually around the end of the week, Friday or Saturday, I have to crash around 10 to catch up, which is relatively new. I don't know if it's because I'm 31 or if it's because I'm still affected by this virus. But yeah, it kicked my butt for weeks. But now we're back. and Planned Parenthood did not help me with that. The kind people at Bucks Family Medical did.
Pay my bills.
So pay my bills. Give me free medicine treatment. So I haven't pre-read any of these. I know that Jen has read a couple of them, and she's read a couple of them out loud. A lot of it's ridiculous, and part of it at some point is about the GGW era of FTW. So this is the live journal that I started Monday, October 15th, 2011, 10:34 p.m.
2001.
2001. Yeah.
If this was as poor as you wrote in 2011.
2001, 10:34 p.m. Finally, I'm here. Yes, another FTW member has fallen for this live journal. I've read Zeros. I've read Chaos's Dead journal. So you did have Day journal.
Uh-huh.
And realized I was missing out on something. I was going to create one earlier, but gay ass Wawa had me go to work at 4, so therefore I had to go there. One good thing happened there, though. I made a card for this Saturday, one that Fox mostly agreed to, but we did make a few changes. Just have to wait to see what Jack says about it. Nothing greater than watching wrestling while writing. Unfortunately, gay ass X-Pac is wrestling. And it looks like he just slapped Edge's ass. Well, kiddies, I gotta go.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm reading this over your shoulder and everything, and I'm actually piecing together. It's pieces of MySpace. It's pieces of Twitter. It's pieces of Facebook. You can see where this would have evolved into all those things.
And I don't know, I don't remember saying gay ass as much as I just did.
By the way, you were feeling groggy.
Was I? Oh, yeah. Okay. So they had moods. Current mood. Groggy. Current music. Edge's theme song on WWF by Rob Zombie. We'll read maybe 2-3 more. We'll see. We'll see what it says. This one looks like it's going to be stupid, I guess. Friday, October 26th, 2001, 7:10 a.m. Tired, in school, and bored. How did we have access to this in school?
Computer lab, I guess. That could be the only thing. Although, you know what? At 7:10 a.m., we would have been in homeroom.
Yeah.
Did you have
I had Mr.
Bowen?
H. No, this was senior year, so I had Mr. H. I had him 3/4 of the day.
I don't even remember who Mr. H is.
Yeah, he was the computer teacher.
Okay, so yeah, you were at a computer. That explains it.
Tired, in school, and bored. Yeah, I checked out that thing about your personality from Fox's live journal. Here's my results. Disorder rating. Paranoid? Moderate. Schizoid? Low. Schizotypal? Low. Antisocial? Low. I don't believe that. Borderline? Low. Histrionic? High.
I don't know what that is.
Narcissistic? Moderate. avoidant low, dependent low, obsessive compulsive low. I disagree with all this.
Well, you have to remember this is what you are now. Yeah. And hold on, you were groggy.
Anyways, gotta get back to school and sleep and shit. So I do remember sleeping a lot in high school, and like senior year I slept a lot. Groggy is current mood.
Again,
current music, none. I'm in school,
and that's the funny thing too. Like maybe that's why you stay up so late now, because you did all your sleeping in life early on in life.
I've always been like kind of a night owl. So this one I had several posts throughout the day. Monday, October 29th, 2001, 10:06 a.m. College. Damn, man. I'm in the middle of second period with like 20 minutes left. Just finished doing my report that I better have gotten an A on. Just read Fox's journal about the whole food thing, which is fucked up. I don't know. I have to Halloween to get my Penn State application turned in.
You didn't go to Penn State.
Which is way too soon. And to top it off, I gotta go to the counselors today to work on my Bloom's application. And damn, I realized that I have to go look up scholarships and aid crap too. Way too much work. This is on point with me being lazy. Way too much work, and my lazy ass waited so long. Oh damn, Dustin is gonna die for hitting me. Dustin, remember that kid Dustin? He was like a soccer player.
I remember him. He was a good looking dude.
Dustin is gonna die for hitting me. And now Chris wants to play tanks. So at that, put college to the side and go play tanks in the middle of school. Oh, and to the GGW thing, I have one word to say to him, her, them. Die. Current mood, crappy. Current music, Triple H The Game by WWF Volume 5. 11:35 a.m. Halfway through the day, but the end will never come. Just got
You
back.
were really melodramatic. But you know what? I'm saying this, but at the same time, I know exactly what all my dead journal things were about. It was being moody and bitching about girls and stuff. Like, that was my entire dead journal.
I feel like that we have to go on the journey for all our entries that we've ever made and have an entire podcast just about our past. Halfway through the day, 11:35 a.m. Halfway through the day, but the end will never come. Just got back from lunch. I have now told two of my best friends my most recent problem. A huge problem. So it must have been you and Chris. Ever since Friday night, it's all I think about, worry about. So far today has gone by so fast. But now that I have to think and can't stop. But now that I think and I can't stop, today will never come to an end. I have 2.5 hours left of school, 6 hours of work. Not too much time, but it already feels like an eternity. Damn, I have to go back to work. Peace.
And we'll never know what the problem was.
Because this is when you're a teenager and you're just very vague about everything that you write. And I feel like if it was a real journal, it wouldn't be so vague. But you didn't do real journals.
Yeah, because you wanted people to see it.
Yeah, I wanted people to see it.
You wanted to be like, hey, you should inquire what my big problem is.
Current mood, depressed, current music in school.
By the way, do you have any friends on Facebook who post like that, like still to this day?
Yeah.
We have old co-hosts that post like that.
I try not to post like this anymore. I try to be more, if I'm going to post anything, like my Facebook now is mainly like pictures of the kids, plugging other things that I find interesting. Very little is about my current mood. Like I really try. I think I still like. I bet you if you look at Time Hop, there's like I pride myself in the fact for the last 4 years I really haven't been that guy. Maybe 3 years I haven't been that guy. But I'm sure if you look at Time Hop, every now and then there might be that one post in the last 3 years. And I'm seeing like more and more. As we discussed earlier today, I think, or maybe it was yesterday, about how like the internet's now at that point where like things happened a decade ago or longer. And that's how they round up now. They don't say years. Well, Time Hop, I'm at that point now where like I have time hops from like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago from
it's
Facebook.
Getting there.
So like I'm like, wow, man, I've been on Facebook for 8 years.
Kudos to Facebook for hanging around so long because like MySpace seemed like it would have been around forever too.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it is.
It's still around, but no one uses it. I found there's 2 FTW pages on MySpace.
There you go.
I don't know the logins. Don't know how to get into them. All right, 10:59 p.m. on October 29th, still of 2001. Friends are great. Wrestling is great. I feel a little better. It's good to know that I can talk to at least 2 of my friends about this problem, one of which I have, and the one that I will once we
the card finished up.
Today went by quicker than I had earlier thought. Still have to work on my Day of the Penn State application. God damn. And get a card finished up tonight for this Saturday. Damn. And I just remembered that Dave and Jay have SATs this Sat. Luckily, Jay is the main event because he's the best. But I don't know about Dave. Other than that, I am really going to have my Iron Man match this week. Oh, I remember this. I remember this match. And now I got to get an extra 2 days of work at a time. And an extra week to think of great moves. After thinking a while, I've decided that I'm going to not worry about my problem that much. The less I think about it, the better I feel. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will find out if the problem is a real problem to worry about. Well, not 100%, but really close. And will ease the worrying a lot. Well, I'm going to go talk wrestling with Foxy and finish applying to Penn State. Peace out. Current mood, okay. Current music, Pantera, I'll Cast a Shadow, a.k.a. Shadow's first song. So this was around. So this is when. Now, let's just. And I might edit this part out, but we're gonna mention names of people that we were friends with back in the day. We may not be friends with now. We may not even associate ourselves with now. But when I talk about these people, I do talk about them from who I remember them as, and we were a band of brothers back then. And they are. I'm going to choose to remember most of these people from those days
fondly,
because being a more positive person, that helps me in life, and also because it was the FTW was probably as a kid the greatest part of my life. I mean, it's tattooed on my arm. It is a part of my life that I will always remember and always cherish. So I have to acknowledge that those people exist, and I will always remember them fondly for these days. So this was, Eric came back from the Army, and he was the referee for this match. And I remember, we did, the whole, I think Fox ended up winning the whole, or maybe I ended up winning. I forget the outcome, but I know we did, it was a multiple count thing.
Was that the one in the cage? Or?
No, that was,
that was separate.
Yeah, that was either the month before or the month after this, because this was likely this Iron match was likely a pay-per-view that we had in October, if I had to guess.
Which no one paid for.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a pay. Yeah, I don't know why we called them pay-per-views, but they were pay-per-views. So let's read one more. We'll read one more day of stuff. This one has comments. Which is
that top one is
okay. So this is comments from viewers' post. So okay, so you can like me, you can hate me, but you better blow me from Nuncy, which is likely Fox.
It is. You can definitely see it's Fox.
Dude, what's wrong, playa? What's this huge problem?
Full house moment.
I'll be here to talk about whatever is bugging you, because that's what friends are for. When friends are sad, that makes me sad, so I'll do what I must to make you happy again. Even kill, but especially kill. Okay, so the killing part never made it to a legit full house moment, but hey, I made a card because I was so bored. Hopefully you made one as well, so we can make sure this week's makes up for last week. I'm out. And this is from you. This is I guess you could have people. You didn't have a live journal, so you just posted.
Yeah, so I just posted anonymously.
80 thumbs up.
80.
Hey Kev, as far as I've seen, everything should be okay with you and your problem. It won't be that big of a deal, and I'm sure that even if it does manifest as a problem,
manifest frickin' 2001.
You're responsible enough to pull through it. Chaos. So you knew what the problem was back then.
I was one of those two people.
If I had to guess, it was. I remember, and back then, me and Fox were really close.
It seems it.
Back in that era,
he's talked about you in a relatively fond way when I've talked to him online.
I haven't talked to him online at all in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Now, when we mention Fox, I mean, anyone that really knows the history of the shows knows Fox from the Happy Hour Steel Tip days and in the Creepcast days. He was a co-host of mine, and I stand by the fact that a lot of those guys, if we could be adults and hang and talk, I would totally talk with them. Hopefully, knock on wood, the next guest on this show is going to be C-Rob. And him and I mean, I don't know why we had a falling out, but we had a falling out.
He was just an accessory in a childish petty issue.
So let's see. Can you see we're at an hour and 17 minutes. So we're going to read one more entry before we kind of go on to just awesome things that you want to talk about.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping that this is going to be a good one. It's Halloween morning.
Well, hold on. Your current mood is just tired.
Yeah, but I don't know. Let's read it. Let's see.
And who's Kyle singing Lowrider?
Let's find out, shall we? Wednesday, October 31st, 2001, almost 14 years ago. Finally, it's back up, 10:30 a.m. I get home last night to write in my journal because I had a lot to talk about. I sign on, type in the little web address. So a sign on, I guess this was the AOL days where you've got mail.
You've got mail.
Type in the little web address. It's interesting listening to or reading the terminology of the internet.
Do you have any idea what your problem was?
No, not at all. If I had to guess, it was girls. If I had to guess, because I was very emo back then. Like when it came to girls, I was very emo.
Oh yeah, so was I. If we ever found my dead journal, it would be embarrassing as all hell.
I can't wait till we find it. I sign on, type in the little web address, and boom. Not working. Try again. Boom. Doesn't work. This is the troubleshooting of a young IT.
Yeah. In training.
Yes. Doesn't work. Well, anyways, my problem wasn't really found out if I should worry about it or not. I've decided not to worry unless I have to. So with that said, yesterday was great. Probably one of the days that I was in a good mood all day, except for when I went to Giant. I had to get coffee filters for my mom, and I talked to Chaos for about 15 minutes. Then went in line where Mrs. Chaos was ringing. What? I guess your girlfriend, maybe, at the time?
And I can only guess who it is.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, okay. This is gonna what makes this entry. Well, some bitch whore lady decided to say, you can't ring them up because her boyfriend knows you. Her boyfriend knows you. So I waited in line for 10 minutes for no reason. Then I had to go to the
gay ass again. It came back.
Gay ass U-scan. They had U-scans back then, huh?
I guess.
That's Giant was
14 years ago.
I hate that lady so much. Well, then I also rented Evil Dead 2. Great movie. Went home online till 11:30, and then I went to bed. I woke up at 8:30 this morning and was an hour and 15 minutes late for school. Anyway, I gotta go do work now. Woo! Gonna watch some DX tonight with Foxy and HM. Then gonna pick up Heather at 8 from work. Ha 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 ha. My dad said I have to be home at 10 tonight because I slept in. That blows. Peace out. Tired is the mood. Current music. Kyle singing Lowrider.
Who's Kyle?
Kyle from South Park, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But why would you be watching South Park at 10:30 in the morning at school?
I guess there was a Kyle in school. So I guess we'll end the month of October and we'll leave the rest for a future podcast. Whether it be Tell Us or That's Entertainment or Emo Boys.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename your folder Pure Bronze.
There's got to be more gold in there. I can't.
You know when it's going to be good? It's going to be awesome to show your kids that when they start doing it.
Yeah, when they start
being emo and
I wonder what it will be on. Will it be Facebook? Will it be Twitter? Because the rumor is they're going to lift that 140 character limit.
All right, so this is interesting and it's relevant. So there's a writing utility called Wattpad. You might have.
I know of it. I've heard of it.
About a year and a half ago, I used it for maybe 2.5 months. It wasn't for me or whatever, but it's definitely for the younger crowd. That's the new thing. And what you do is you basically you write short form serialized work, and a lot of what I've seen is similar to that. It's young kids bitching and moaning and everything and complaining and everything. Well, I happened to. I don't know how it happened, but I ended up following my younger cousin on Wattpad, and I don't know that she knew that I was one of her followers, because I think the last thing that I actually actively remember her writing was like 2 years ago, and she used Wattpad specifically for these kinds of purposes. I'm definitely not going to name names, but So instead of minding my own business and like staying out of it and everything, I Facebook messaged her and I was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I think you're an excellent writer. And if you ever need to talk about anything, just let me know. So I have not received any response from her. So I can only imagine that I mortified her to all hell. And I don't know, like, how it's going to be handled in real life like, when we next see each other. Like, if it's going to be like, hey, and then just walk away.
Isn't it weird how you kind of view family online? I mean, you have a brother, so it's even probably maybe weirder. I don't know. I don't know. For me, I had a cousin I had a cousin that was, she is easily 5 to 10 years younger than us. And I remember, we were friends on MySpace, because this is the MySpace days. So, and I think I was drinking at the time. So I guess it wasn't legally, because I don't remember MySpace. I don't remember if I was 21 and MySpace being a thing 10 years ago. But so I was I know I was friends with her on MySpace, or it was like on AIM or something, where we were like buddies on AIM to chat or whatnot. And I remember at one point seeing either a status update or an away message or something that was like, and mind you, as an underage drinker myself, probably an underage drinker at that time, I remember like her saying like, oh, can't wait to get some banana rama we rocka. And I was like, oh, I can't read this about my cousin. Like, and I can't be like, no, don't drink, and like be the big cousin that looks out for you, because like we really weren't that close. But like,
well, not only that, but then everybody ridicules this poor girl.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I like unfriended or untop aided or whatever it was back in the day, and like deleted from AIM. But so was it like that for you? Like seeing your brother online, like as like when he was underage, talking about like. Did he talk about like, I'm going to go get hammered at 18, 19,
No,
20?
I don't believe so. But I mean, I know the first time that Matt ever got trashed was at my house, at the video game tournament thingy that we had. But Matt has always been pretty good about like being discreet online. Yeah. And I think it's after the live journal days. I think I've kind of maintained that as well. Like, when's the last time you saw me post on Facebook for anything besides like that 25,000 words, 25,000 ago?
Yeah. I mean, no one, really, you more and more so. It's probably you getting tagged by Rihanna.
Yeah, and when Rihanna and I met, I had 6 pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, and like I don't like I post pictures on Facebook because it's like an easy way to share to like, the family, like pictures of the kids and stuff. And like Facebook and even Twitter, like Twitter, maybe I go on more rants on that, but that's not necessarily rants about like people I know. That will be more so like I had a Twitter rant a couple weeks ago about Starbucks.
You're like, hashtag tasty cakes. Why are your tasty cakes so delicious? Damn you.
No, I did have a Twitter rant about Starbucks and a customer there, where I was behind this customer and she was purchasing coffee, obviously, and like one snack bar thing. But the snack bar was like 2 for a price, and she thought she could get it 1 for half the price, and she couldn't. That's just not the way that the deal worked or whatever. But it's like she like was giving shit to the cashier, and like I've been a cashier. I've worked at Word of Retail.
The cashier made the deal,
and then so like I order my coffee. Cashier's pleasant, nice. Kind of like looking at the other customer oddly, because like she's literally like belittling the cashier to like just the other coworker, and then eventually the manager, and like was straight up, and I forget the word she used, but like straight up belittling the customer. Come on in.
You're my new favorite parents.
Thank you. That was
all right. That's gonna get cut out anyway. Thank you.
So, what were we in the middle of? You were in the middle of talking.
Facebook and Twitter and Starbucks.
So,
she was belittling.
So to the point, and I got so like angry about this to the point where I think I went on the Twitter rant first, and I just was like blasting this customer because like that's not right. Like, okay, you feel like you were wronged, but you don't sit there and belittle someone. And like I've yelled at like customer service or employees before, retail employees, but like I have to be at my boiling point. Like with Walmart, I know you were with me one time when I got my brakes done or something and they didn't rotate the tires. And like, but that was like the fourth strike Walmart had that week. Like I just was like getting shitty service from
you were
them.
getting boned.
And so like, I have my moments where I blow up, and like,
I've been on the other side.
And so have I. Like
I've been fired.
I haven't been fired from retail. I haven't been fired, but I've been on the other side of someone like belittling me, and like so I know how it is, and like I try not to do it. I try to respect customer service and retail employees because I've been there. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot, and I'll call you out. And usually that's only at Walmart. Like it's really rare that I'm at Target or Staples or Best Buy or somewhere anywhere where I'm just like, come on, like you're idiots. The only thing I ever get frustrated with is like when I say please, like I don't need help, like I'll come get you if that's the only thing I ever get frustrated with, because when I worked in that environment, I was very respectful and like I would check on you once and then maybe like if I saw you walking around 20 minutes later, yeah. But like there's the new mentality of where like I know at Staples they have like the 3 ask rule where like you within 10 minutes you have to ask someone if they need help 3 times if they're still shopping
That's
around.
kind of a weird thing to structure.
So weird and stupid, and maybe they changed it since I was there for round 2 of my employment, but it was so stupid. But that, yeah, Twitter is where I'll get more personal, not personal, but where I'll get more like emotional, I guess, on my tweets and stuff. And it's again mostly a like quick thought that I'll send out there, and I try to make it somewhat comical and comedy oriented. But there are times where like that Starbucks incident where I'll get emotional and I'll just, and that's to me, but that's what Twitter's about. Like Twitter is for that. Like if you're going to limit it to 140 characters, it is for the quick thoughts, the emotional thoughts, for the rants. Whereas Facebook can be very long posts and like, it's more obviously more personal because that's what Facebook's about. Like it's basically having an online social life, but I try to like not be that emo guy there. And I try not to be emo on Twitter either.
I kind of feel like Facebook's more like a scrapbook.
That's what it is now. It's for me. But you know what? For the younger generation, for the generation that's kind of growing up on social media, it's not. It is like it is like a meeting place for people. We are like, I have a hard time with like the whole Gen X thing and the millennial thing because like we're in the middle. We're considered millennials. Like if you do the math and stuff, we are considered millennials. But I feel like we border just because me and you have a similar mentality.
As millennials, what are we known for?
Millennials are like, for me, when I think of millennial, I think of someone that's like hip on like whatever's the current social media, the current apps and stuff. Like millennials know how to use Snapchat. I don't.
Yeah, I don't feel like a millennial.
yeah. Like there's some things that like
Rihanna is definitely a millennial. She's on Twitter and well, actually maybe not Twitter, but she's on like Instagram. She's on BuzzFeed and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like that, like so, and like whereas I feel more like a Gen Xer, but if you and you may actually be considered a Gen Xer because you were, even though you were born a year before me, 83 may be like in that era still, but like. If you've grown up in like the 90s and 2000s, which that was kind of like my formable years, was like the mid 90s to the mid 2000s, like that's when you're a millennial. Like, and like the kids today, like the millennial generation goes up to like the 20-year-olds today, which means they were just born in the early, late 90s, early 2000s. But I don't relate with them at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't get the Snapchats. Like I barely function on Facebook and Twitter. Like I barely use those appropriately. Anyway, I don't know why we went on that tangent.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. I don't know what accent that was. It was a mix of Russian and
South African, maybe? If I had to guess.
So let's gear the end of this show here towards just whatever you want to talk about.
Well, when I was on my way over here, like 5 or 10 minutes beforehand, I was telling you they were doing that Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
I'm still big in video games.
Let me tell you, this is very related to video games. You know the deal of my weight loss thing. Like in the beginning of the year, I set a goal of I weighed 240 pounds in January. January 1, I was 240 pounds. And I said, and it wasn't until maybe the end of January after our Disney vacation that I said, did we go this year? Or was that last year?
I think you went this year.
Yeah, I think
or it was late last year.
Yeah, no, we went January of this year. So it was after that I said, I kind of want to like get in better shape. Like I feel icky, and like that's when I started doing veggie shakes and stuff. Yeah, I said icky, and I started drinking veggie shakes and stuff, which like helped. Like that was like a great natural like boost and stuff. And in 3 months, I got down to 215. Like I did very good. 25 pounds in 3 months, I think is like an excellent amount of weight to
Absolutely.
lose. And then from between, I stuck with my diets and stuff and my veggie shakes and stuff between March and July, but I really kind of just hit like a stopping point. And I joined the gym to like kind of help that, but I only went like for a month in a row, and then I stopped. Like I stopped going to the gym, and that really didn't help much. I really didn't lose. I maybe lost like another 3 pounds doing that.
Yeah, because as much as you're losing, you're putting on as well.
Yeah.
So.
And at some point in that time that I was losing weight and stuff, Jen and I talked about, a new video game console, because I was going to save for my own, but like I'm terrible at saving money. Like I get like we give ourselves like a little allowance every 2 weeks that we have to spend, and I usually spend it on stuff for Crudimer Studios or like maybe like a meal out or something. And so I'm terrible at saving money for like things that I want. And she said, she probably thinking that I would never lose the weight. She said like if you drop down to 200 pounds, your goal weight, you can get Xbox 4. She doesn't know the names. She said you can get your new Nintendo.
You can get your new Nintendo.
And that's what she calls everything Nintendo. So when I don't know if this will be if earlier in the show or last week's episode if it will be cut in, but we briefly talked about my virus that I had, my Epstein-Barr virus, and that dropped in a week. I dropped 15 pounds and got down from between 212 and 215 to 200. And when I weighed in 200, I said, Jen, I hit it. I hit my 200 pound. And then like that day was when GameStop had an Xbox One sale where you got the Xbox One with an extra controller and a free video game. And I was like, coincidence.
But you have to maintain. Right?
And now here, I thought I had to maintain to the 19th, but Jen said, she said, no, you idiot. The reason you weighed in today was because you needed 2 weeks in a row of being 200. So I was 200 last week. I weighed in at 200 this week. Boom! I get the Xbox One.
Oh, I thought it was 2 weeks.
So it was. I weighed in at 200 last week.
So it was
2 weeks in a row.
From 1 week to the next.
Yes,
okay.
I had to maintain.
So 7 days straight, just about.
Yes, and I thought that's what I thought. I'm a fucking idiot because she could have gotten away with me having to do all this extra work. And like, I want to try to maintain the 200 because I do feel
because
better.
You're not doing it just for the Xbox. You're doing it for yourself.
Though the whole idea of fat out of shape Batman now is kind of going out the window because my face is noticeably thinner.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
So, but I'll figure that out this week because I need to get the Batman web series out soon, like the weekend of Thanksgiving. So for you guys, about a month ago, about 4 weeks ago, hopefully the Batlog is out there in the world for you to witness. But yeah, so I'm going to be, we have to figure it out because we just spent like $7,500 on a new heating system. So,
did you guys go Central Heat?
Yeah, we went heat pump. The listeners are just fucking gathering around their iPods right now. But yeah, we went, heat pump, central air, central heat, water, electric water heater. So hopefully it's not going to be super expensive.
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, so I will be getting an Xbox. What do you recommend? Xbox One or PS4?
I think Xbox One, especially considering the Xbox One is now backwards compatible with.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think I prefer the PlayStation exclusives more.
Yeah.
But I think there's just more people on Xbox One. Yeah. And I think that the way that PlayStation, oddly enough, is treating their customers compared to the way that Microsoft's treating their customers, considering where we were at the beginning of this generation, where it looked like Microsoft was going to bend everyone over a barrel.
And you know what I really like about Xbox right now and their gold system, we'll get back to Nintendo in a second, but their Xbox Gold system is that I have 360. So like I think twice a month they have like free downloads of games and stuff.
It depends. Like sometimes it's between the 15th and the 30th and sometimes it's all month.
Yeah. But what's really cool is that even if you're on 360, they let you get, and sometimes they're shit Xbox One games, but they let you get Xbox One games.
I think you can do the same thing with one.
And you can get the 360 ones. You can go, okay.
I think.
But
especially now that they're backwards compatible.
Yeah. So like that's like for the last like 6 months, I've been building a small Xbox One library, which I think the most impressive title I have is maybe The Walking Dead Season 1, maybe Assassin's Creed 4.
There's some little indie games that you'll like.
Yeah, and I try to get all of them. If I look at it and it looks really, really, I don't want to say stupid, but stupid, I won't get it. But like I've like almost every Xbox One
just
game,
in case.
I almost every Xbox One title they've had, I've said yes to. And so, like, I do have a nice little Xbox One library already. And now that it is backwards compatible with my Xbox 360.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to get an
which
Xbox One.
Now, would you recommend, do you need a second controller? Because this is the world that we live in, where you don't really have local multiplayer anymore.
No. I mean, the local games that you could play would be, like with Trey, I would imagine, you'd play, like, Terraria or Minecraft.
Yeah.
There really isn't that much.
So at most, you probably need 2 controllers.
At most. And I would say, unless he's going to play those games with you, it's not really necessary. Yeah. I think, like, if you really want to play, and I'm tooting the horn of the company that I like the most, but if you want a local multiplayer experience, you get the Wii U.
Which I have. I have the Wii U.
Yeah.
So, and which I do want to, like, I just organized, put my games away in like a tower thing. And I need to find time to sit down, because that's my problem. I don't sit down and play enough video games. And part of
some people would say that's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. But I as a gamer who used to play all the time to not playing at all, like, I do miss it, and like I just need to find the time. And it's not like I don't have it; it's just that I get lazy, and I'm like, I don't even want to turn on a video game system. But yeah, I think Xbox One, like, because it's backwards compatible, I have all these Xbox 360 games that I haven't even touched. I think I'm definitely going Xbox One.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a year behind too. There's a bunch of good games that you could get that have already been out.
Yeah, I plan. I know I took you away from Fallout 4 today. I may actually try to play go race through Fallout 3, because I have that. Never played it. So I might race through that to
You're not going to be able to race through it.
Yeah,
There's no such thing as racing through that. Speaking of Fallout real quick, since we're on the subject, we have a friend who will remain nameless, who everyone thinks is a spy.
Secret agent, man. I am so tone deaf.
Yes, you are.
Secret agent, man. That's it.
Okay, good. And my brother has officially declared that there's no way that this guy can be a secret agent or spy, because he is already a level 20 in Fallout 4. he's like, of all the people and everybody on my friends list is playing Fallout, with the exception of Marty Rambo.
And me.
But you're not.
I'm on your friends list.
And everyone's been playing, and everyone's been like leveling up and everything, and Secret Agent Man has a level 20 character already. Like, it's just like, are you serious? Like,
I don't get his life.
The president of Kazakhstan just got assassinated because you weren't there to prevent it. So yeah, Matt is like fairly certain that Secret Agent Man is not a secret agent.
But it's not like he has to go kill people every day.
No, and in fact, if anything, he's just honing his skills.
Yeah. So all right, so let's go back to the Nintendo Direct. I'm
going to be quick about it, because a lot of people don't really care about Nintendo or whatever, as indicated by how shitty the Wii U has sold.
Which is a shame, because like I still, Nintendo will always be my system. Like, it's just, it is, and like a lot of people were asking me,
they didn't advertise right for Wii U at all.
Yeah, and
it was very poorly marketed.
And like a lot of people have been asking me lately, like, they want to get their kids something, because like, shockingly enough, their kid is just annoying them so much, and I've never heard a parent say like, I want my kid to play video games, and so
but you can see it like out in the world, like people who just pass their kid like an iPad to distract them.
Well, and like we at home will do that. But out at a restaurant, I try not to. Like, how the restaurants have like, I think it's Ruby Tuesdays.
Red Robin
has those like tablet things on the table now.
Applebee's has them now too.
We did it once when we were out by Lancaster, or I think wherever Cabela's is. We did it once because like it was just really late, and like I think Aubrey was like just a real little. Or maybe she wasn't born yet. Maybe we were just pregnant with her still. But we let Trey play on that one time, and like, it was cool. Like, it's good for, because I think it's only $1 to unlock the game.
Maybe 2.
Yeah. So like, it's good for like when you're maybe at like a family event and you don't want your kid like crying the whole time. Or
yeah. I mean, if you have a kid who's being unruly and playing that shit for a half an hour is going to make him happy and quiet and everything, I think it's almost more of a courtesy to the other people in the restaurant.
And it's something that like we treat as like I said, he's only done it once, and we've been to the restaurant since then, and like he doesn't ask for it. Like he kind of knows like it's a reward.
But you know what? Like think about it. Like it's not like those are really new. The concept is not that new. We had arcade games in the mall and restaurants and stuff,
which
like
is
that.
Actually like the Red Robin by us. I don't know if they have the tablet thingies, but like it used to have an arcade, and it's not there now. Like they made room for a bar, and that's kind of sad because like my kid, your kids, when you eventually have them, like they're not going to experience the social aspects of gaming. Like you don't multiplayer like the way you
don't
play
sit down on a couch with anybody anymore to play Mario Kart or Mario Party.
And me sitting down to play Call of Duty with you or Chris on the internet, like that's cool because like we've known each other for years, so like that's fine. But like me playing with it's not the same as us sitting down and playing Call of Duty together or sitting down and playing GoldenEye.
Yep.
There's this generation is losing that. And the arcade is the same thing. And not necessarily the arcade, but having arcades in a restaurant. Like, I have fond memories of like bonding with my uncle. But after we ate dinner or lunch or whatever it was, after we ate, before we left, we would go and play a pinball game, or we would go and try to win a stuffed animal from the crane, or we go and play an arcade game or a racing game. Like, getting rid of that from the restaurant is like, you're almost getting rid of like the bonding over video games when you just have like, okay, one kid is going to play this screen and maybe like you just pass it along, but passing along a screen isn't the same as like standing next to each other playing an arcade or sitting next to each other having a racing game.
And you know, the weird thing about it too is nowadays gaming is so much more socially acceptable. Like it's kind of weird to see that kind of stuff going away, but I wonder if that's why gaming is becoming socially acceptable, because you don't have to do it with a bunch of other screaming nerds.
The internet has opened up everything, you know, pop culture, gaming, comic books, like all this stuff is so much popular now because like people don't have to be like afraid to be a fan anymore. Like when we were in high school, like it wasn't cool to watch wrestling. It wasn't cool to play video games. It wasn't cool to read comic books. And like I stopped reading comic books. I didn't stop playing video games. And I didn't stop watching wrestling. I didn't talk about it in school unless it was with you or Chris, or any of my friends that were into that. But like I did, like it wasn't cool back then. And like now, like it's not uncommon for a football player to want to go and watch the new Star Wars movie that's coming out. Now, I mean, there was a commercial today that showed a kid that, you can come in, bud, that showed a kid build an R2-D2 unit to ask a girl out on a date. Like, that wouldn't happen 10, 15 years ago.
All right, we're going to cut it right there. And this is a 3-part episode for Everything is Awesome. That's right. We're going to be joined yet again next week with Mike D'Angelo to finish our conversation, where we're going to continue and talk about Nintendo Direct. We're finally going to get to that. We're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars and a whole lot more in next week's episode. Make sure you follow Mike on Twitter at Tellist on Twitter.com. Make sure you go to his website, Tellist.com, to find out more about his creative world and his literary world of Tellist. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at HHWST. Follow this show on Twitter at That Entertains. And make sure you go to iTunes and you subscribe for this show and leave a review. 5 stars if you can. And when you leave a review for this show, it really helps us out because it gets more eyes on this show. And the more eyes on this show, the more better things we can do. That was a combination of bigger and better. That is more things we can do. We can do contests, we can do live shows, we can do a lot of cool things. So please go to iTunes and review us. And well, that's it for this week. So I'm Kev, and you've been listening to Everything is Awesome right here only on awesomepodcast.com.